to welcome everybody, and for those that couldn't hear me, I hope you all had a beautiful, effortless journey up to the 9,000 feet, and that you enjoy our day today at the top of the mountain. When Denise and I were talking about putting a Christmas party together, she said, let's do something over the top. So I had to rack my brain. I thought, oh, the tram. We're going to go over the top of the mountain. That's perfect. And we have real snow. We put parties together in Malibu where we have the fake snow. So I thought, let's go and have real snow. So I hope everybody enjoys this wonderful program that we have. Labs. That is sponsoring lunch.
Thank you, Josie. Josie got me just what I wanted for Christmas this year, a microphone, as if I needed a microphone. Thank you everyone for coming. This is an unbelievable turnout. I can barely walk across the room, mostly because I'm getting winded taking 2 steps, but also because it's cramped. Just really quickly, I'm with Millennium Health, the ginger name. Yeah. 6 months ago, I just never reminded you. We do medication monitoring and urine drug testing specifically in the treatment space and specifically with a mind for people in treatment. So where lots of other labs will do drug testing, we really focus specifically on making sure that what you get is 100% accurate and very, very rapid. We do all of our turnaround within 24 to 48 hours, and we test for over 85 discrete drugs, illicit, non-illicit, you name it, we've got it. The bath salts and the synthetic THC and all of the things that we find that people transition to when they're in a treatment setting, be it synthetic marijuana or dextromethorphan. We try to keep people honest because in our mind, the best way to do drug testing is to have it so that you don't have to think about it. Get the best possible result, get it as quickly as possible, and never think about it again. We would never want to put a customer in a position where they have to call and say, oh, is this right? And have to have a debate back and forth. We want you to be able to do your job. I mean, our purpose is to support you in doing what you do, and that's helping people get well. So if you have any questions, if there's anything that I can do for you, if you want some random drug facts, find me after the speakers, and I'd be happy to help you out.
And at Addiction Therapeutic Services, we've been using Millennium Labs since we opened it. It's been wonderful. Thank you. I'd like to invite Denise Klein from Milestones Ranch Malibu. Thank Denise for sponsoring our event.
Well, I'd like to just take this opportunity to say how grateful I am to be here today and how grateful I am for Josie and Jim and Roz and their magical team. There's so much energy and love that goes into these events and so much behind the scenes that we're not aware of, and I just would like to give her a big round of applause for what and the entire team that we put together today. It's very, very special. And in regard to Milestones, I'm the executive director, and we are a 12-bed dual diagnosis program in Malibu, and we treat very complex dual diagnosis patients. So if you have that patient that you don't know where to place that needs that extra level of TLC, please get in touch with us. We love what we do. We have 40 staff for 12 patients, and we're always trying to make our program better. In fact, in the last year, we added free day treatment on Sundays for life for all of our graduates so that we could continue to stay in touch with them and help them throughout their recovery process. So thank you so much and happy holidays.
And I don't know if Yvette is here from Sovereign Health. Is she in the audience? I haven't seen her, but she's Sovereign Health. Oh, you're Sovereign Health? Okay, great. Colleen is here from Sovereign Health.
Woohoo! Good afternoon, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here and celebrate the holidays with all of you. I'm Colleen with Sovereign Health. I'm the Orange County Outreach Representative. And Sovereign Health holds 2 licenses, one for primary mental health and one for chemical dependence. So we also treat high levels of acuity and complexity with our mental health patients and dual diagnosis. And we have, oh gosh, we're growing like wildfire, but in Southern California, we have locations in San Clemente, Culver City, and Palm Springs. And then we have our adolescent facility, where we also treat mental health, chemical dependence, and now we're staffing for an adolescent eating disorder program. So if you have any questions about that, be happy to answer those. And then we have eating disorders in Laguna Hills, part of our San Clemente for women 18 and above. So I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them after the speaker. Thank you.
Okay, and then on behalf of Addiction Therapeutic Services, I have myself and Jim, my husband. And of course, we have our wonderful staff. If you're part of staff for ATS, please stand up. We have Sharon Lane, we have Celine, Emily, Esther, Elisa, Suzanne Jackie, Dr. Wayne, Marcello, Eric, and I think the rest of them are down the hill. So you probably met them coming up, but I just wanted to acknowledge my wonderful staff and thank you all for being up here for our party. Addiction Therapeutic Services is an IOP that Jim and I started 2.5 years ago. We're CARF accredited, working on our JACO. We're in Palm Springs proper on Palm Canyon 559. If anybody hasn't come by to tour, we invite you openly to come visit us. You can talk with Sharon or Suzanne and schedule a tour. We'd love to have you guys out there. But we do treatment 5 days a week, and then they transition down to 3 days a week. We love our clients. Jim, I'm going to have you come up and say a couple words. We're in network with the Anthem Blue Cross and Affordable and take most insurances.
You guys got that right. We're affordable and we take most insurance.
It's like, where do you throw that in the bin?
Also this year I started, oh, sorry about that. Josie and I opened up a medical practice so we can provide services for our clients, medication management. The company's called Compassion Therapy, so we can do, after our clients graduate and move on, they can still stay attached to us for getting their meds need. Anyway, so if you have clients that are moving to the desert and are out of their insurance benefit for treatment, we can see those folks too, and have them, stay in contact with the caring staff that will monitor their, medication compliance, and we can get them some therapy, couples, individual. We're looking to do a community, stress and anxiety program with Suzanne. It's been a great year. It's been a great year for my family. We 2 more grandchildren. We have 3 now total.
3 grandsons.
And I'm glad you all came. I'm very thankful that you all came.
They can't hear you. Susan can't hear you. You have to talk really loud.
Hi, Suzanne. I just want to thank all of you for coming and sharing the holidays with us. Life, we are all blessed and we are all safe. And thank you for coming.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
Josie,
Okay.
can I mention our community?
I'm sorry?
Can I mention our
Oh,
community?
okay, yes. Carol's going to mention the community group that we do at ATS. Yes. Yes, we need everybody to know. We do a lot of things, truly.
Hi, I'm Carol Tattlebaum. Oops, falling over. We're with It Happens to Boys Project and Addiction Treatment Services, Addiction Therapeutic Services. Sorry about that. ATS. And It Happens to Boys have teamed up to do a community event once a month. And it's the first Tuesday of the month. And this coming Tuesday, the first of the month, is going to be Richard Robart. And he's going to be talking about breaking up to make up. about intimacy when you're in recovery. It's open to the public. I was rushing up here, so I'm like, but we want everybody to know it's free, it's open to the public, it's at 6:30 to 8:30, and please come out every first of the Tuesday of the month, please.
Thank you very much for providing that group at Addiction Therapeutic Services. We truly appreciate it. And we have another community group that's just starting, Escape Anxiety, with Suzanne on Mondays. And that's, that one starts on Mondays for the families. And then we're going to have Wednesdays, I believe, for the community, or is it?
Thursday. Second Tuesday.
Second Tuesday? Okay, so we'll be emailing you guys. And these are all free for the community, just so that they have these resources available. And they don't have to sign it, they just sign confidentiality and that's it. There's no obligation, just for them to be present and hopefully, heal from the experience. And now I am going to turn it over to Samira and Michelle for our entertainment, and then I'll come back and introduce our wonderful speakers. We have Samira Norelli and Michelle Castillo.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird. He's singing a song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland.
You can sing how many if you want, you don't have to.
Then we can build a snowman and pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, "Are you married?" We'll say, "No, man, but you can do the job when you're in town." Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we've made, walking in a winter wonderland.
First verse again.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland.
I'm submarine.
And for another warm-up, we're going to sing Happy Birthday to Jim.
He's back there with Susan. Okay, he's back with Susan.
Okay, Jim, wave so we know where you are.
There he is. We're gonna sing happy birthday.
Second warm-up, ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jim. Happy birthday to you.
And your cake is up here, it's got a golf cart. Yvette got it. Just returned from a 4-day spiritual retreat with Beata and Terry, and I'm going to share some of that during my introduction. And this is kind of our anthem. I don't know. This is our song all weekend at the monastery, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that as well. I hope you enjoy this as much as I did and do. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes.
voice of a mother and a father and a child. Would you recognize the truth? Do you feel the love that's falling from my eyes? Take just a minute, come and rest here by my side. Let me tell you your own story. Let me walk you through your lives. Maybe a second, it's all it takes to realize there's 100,000 angels by your side. There's 100,000 angels by your side. Do you hear me talk to you? I whisper through doorways and pathways of your mind. Clear like the morning dew. I'm fresh from my journey, crossing the ocean Take just a minute, come and rest here by my side. Let me tell you your own story. Let me walk you through your lives. Only it's all it takes to realize there's 100,000 angels by your side. There's 100,000 angels here
Thank you, Terry. That is just beautiful, perfection. I had to open my eyes a little early because I was really going there. And it's a wonderful place. I just had to come back so I could talk. Oh, there really aren't any words that I can think of to introduce these two, but I will try. They have complete resumes, of course. Dr. Terry Eagan is a psychiatrist in Beverly Hills and works at treatment centers, has private practice. And Beata Lundeen is a nurse that's worked in our field as a marketer in business development. Everybody probably over 20, 30 years. So part of our exercise one night was to burn our resumes. So, and then just kind of be with who we are. So for a minute, I'd like, or maybe the next hour, invite everybody to just put your resumes aside and just listen from your heart and your spirit and feel this experience of the prayer for compassion that we're going to have in a moment. Now, I just returned 2 days ago from St. Benedict's Monastery in St. Joseph's, Minnesota. That place is awesome. I'm telling you. I thought no, that is just a slice of heaven. If you're just for a few days, it's just, I felt like I was there for a few minutes. But there are 320 nuns, and there were 30 of them that were over 85, I think, in their late 80s and 90s, and they'd been there most of their lives for 70 years, praying and singing and baking and eating and having fun, and they all teaching and all the things that nuns do. I had no idea, but now I know they have a full schedule, and we feel like this moment right now I believe I can feel that work that they do all the way from Minnesota to here, because anytime you feel peace and beauty and love, those are the nuns and the monks that are there just praying for us, and to have that. And so to be living with them for 4 days was, because they prayed for discernment. That's one of their, so they discern everything. And just talking to them, it's like clear answers from God. It's amazing, their spiritual direction. They don't direct anything, they just let you answer the questions yourself. It was beautiful. And then the miracles that went on throughout the weekend, it just not surprising, everything. It was, just beautiful. They were, Beata and Terry, just so thoughtful in every way, hosting us. There were a group of 6 women, and we're sisters now, actually. 5 new sisters. They're just amazing, and I miss them. Beata just showed me a picture in our caftan dresses. That was one of our gifts on a Saturday night. We were all wearing them, dancing around, and they're just, this scarf Beata gave and Terry gave us each a scarf, and they're prayer scarves that were knitted by the nuns. So we put these on when we pray, and just want to, so I thought I'd put my prayer scarf up here because it's very special. And the gifts that they gave throughout, little tear jar, handmade tear jars that her brother made on his farm there in Minnesota. And just, amazing. And poetry every day. We received poetry and cards, handwritten cards. And we each had our own nun to do our spiritual direction. Mine was Sister Mary Rachel, just amazing. And Sister Julianne was our hostess at the retreat, and she's just, I'm not kidding, they're angels. You see, you can almost just see their wings as they're walking around. It was, so if anybody has an opportunity to go to any of their retreats that they're doing, I would definitely highly recommend it. Very peaceful, and it's all for yourself. That's your relationship with God, however you see Him. And that's what I loved about St. Bede's. The group that was there, diverse from religious. It was not even though it's, the St. Benedict's order for the Catholic Church, but they were so inclusive. We started out at a funeral because 6 of the nuns had died in the last 28 days, the elder nuns. And so that day we were invited to a funeral. Their philosophy is you're invited to everything and expected to nothing. I love that. And so we went to the funeral, and they were celebrating Sister Allard's life, and there were no tears, there was singing and beauty, and the Father invited everybody to come up for Holy Communion, whether you're Catholic, good Catholic or not, standing. He said that everybody, is welcome at God's table. That's the first time I'd ever heard that in the Catholic Church, quite honestly. So I ran up there. No, I there are at least 20 reasons why I'm not qualified for that in a regular church. So I was there, and it was wonderful. So those are the types of experiences, and that's how I wanted to introduce Terry and Beata to start our talk, just by sharing my experience at the retreat this last weekend and the gift, and to thank them again for the gift, Beata and Terry. I wanted to thank you guys for the gifts that you gave me this weekend. I can't even, they were priceless, absolutely priceless. I thought, what can I, no, not yet. It's just so beautiful. The white flowers are here representing the invitation, and for me, invitation, and the candle, the white candle, invitation to God and the angels to join us here. And I've been doing that ceremoniously for the last 6 or 10 months. I got that through my prayer meditation with the angels to, when I go to a new place, or, I invite them with white flowers and a white candle, and then just kind of go from there with your practice. So I wanted to invite the angels who are already here, in physical and non-physical, everybody, and to enjoy the beautiful flowers. And then I'm going to send those home with Terry and Beata as just a teeny little token of my appreciation, because literally, and they had presents in boxes with bows and gift, bags with tissue paper. I felt like it was Christmas, every 12 hours. It was a lot. It was amazing. So with that, I'd like to bring up Dr. Terry Eagan and Beata Lundeen.
The miracles, they'll tell you about the miracles. The miracles, I left that for them.
Loving hugs, aren't they something to witness? You could all feel all of that going on in a moment. Before Terry and I get started today, a good marketing director always knows who's in her audience. So I would like to ask, how many treatment owners are present in the room? People that own treatment centers, raise your hand. How many are clinical directors or program directors or executive directors of treatment programs? Denise does all the above. How many are business development directors or marketing reps in the field? Bless all of you. With that, we know who we are. And over the weekend, the name of our retreat was Rhythms of Life. And we looked at our stories and what our stories mean. And all of you in this beautiful, beautiful room on the top of God's mountain have a story to tell. Those of us that have worked in treatment for a long time have held sacred stories of thousands and thousands and thousands of patients, including your own stories and how you got into the room. My journey started 40 years ago as a nurse. I opened up St. John's Hospital in 1974 when there were no treatment centers for chemically dependent patients. I was one of original 6 nurses who had the joy and the privilege of learning how to do this work, and we were never showed how. We were just really good nurses who understood suffering at a level that was deeper than we could even imagine. And in that suffering, we suffered too. The medical director at that time, Dr. Jokichi Takamine, is gone to heaven a year ago. Some of you may know Joe. He was an internist who loved the alcoholic. And he would go to Skid Row and hand out big books and blankets on cold evenings and never told anybody about it. We knew because he told us to go to Al-Anon. And for those of us that are not in the program, and I am not, 6 of us were not and 1 was. And we went to Al-Anon and we learned how to deal with our own codependency, although we didn't know that's what it was called then. As a part of that, my life then revolved into doing marketing for 35 years. And recently, about 8 years ago, I went to the monastery that Josie was talking about. And I began my own transition because I knew that marketing and business development had lost its luster for me. There are many of you in this room that marketing, clinical directorship, executive directorship has lost its luster for you. But you don't know what else to do. I understand. So I decided that God had called me to do something else. If I could sit with a suffering alcoholic and do interventions all over the country, then perhaps it was time that I looked at my own story. As a result of that, I was called to the monastery to do my transitional work. What I found out was, after sitting with Sister Angelo, who was Terry and my spiritual director for a number of years, it occurred to me in direction one day, in sitting with her, that I had to ask her a question. And for those of you that don't know what spiritual direction is, Terry and I can give you a brief summary of that. But in spiritual direction, there is no direction. It is not therapeutic in any way. What we do is we talk about God's calling for us in our life, and as spiritual directors ask us, what do you seek? What is it that you wish for? What is it that you long for? And we talk about God. And we talk about God as a divine feminine, and we can talk about God as a male. We also sit with people that are agnostic, and atheist, and Buddhist. Spirituality is not religion necessarily, although I love my religion, and I love my God. So, 3 years ago I decided that it was time to do something else with my life. And this is my brief story. I became a spiritual director. I went back to school at 62 and graduated at 65, and now have lived my life and want to live out the rest of my life doing what I know I'm called to do. And that is serve patients, clients, residents, guests, whatever you call them in your particular facilities, to talk and do work in the art of spiritual direction. It is my great privilege to sit with patients that sit in treatment centers that have been in treatment 13, 14, 15 times. And when I ask them what it is they seek, they have no idea what I'm talking about. This is what gave birth to Prayer for Compassion. Terry and I have traveled, and he will tell you about that. We have traveled in this life, and I know in a life before us. It is because of this work we are called to do this work. We are going to bring spirituality in its deepest, most loving, most privileged form to treatment centers all over the world. God is opening his arms to us to do this work. It is our privilege and our honor to be able to sit here or stand here with you today and talk about the story and have you think about your story and where your story lives today and where you would like it to be living in the new year and in your life that's blooming in front of you into 2016. So with that, I would like to turn it over to my dear and dearest precious friend in the whole world, Dr. Terry Eagan.
Well, I was going to start with a little bit more music, but I think Josie got it all going. The lovely music that we had during lunch got it all going, and I think I think it's already going. So we don't have to move the energy. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Can you hear me okay in the back? I so do appreciate you guys moving up. I know it's awkward and all that, but for just an hour, at the end of this year, for this moment, which is all we have, we'll be together and we'll do a little share, and hopefully we'll be seeing with fresh eyes when we walk out the window, when we walk out the door and we go down that cool thing, the tram thing. When you look out over all the valley as you're going down at the end of this, thinking about all the stuff you've got to do and the gifts you've got to buy and the parties you've got to go to, and hopefully there'll be a moment when you look out over the valley and you sort of imagine that it's all for you, just for you, all of it, all of this, and all the trees and all the snow and the fireplace and the food. It was all given to us. As Sister Angelo tells Beata and I, God gives you everything you need. Maybe not everything you ask for, and gratefully not everything we deserve, but everything that we need. So I was also thinking as people were coming up to the front, Beata and I had a chance to go to India a couple of years ago to begin to spend some time with His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. And I don't know if any of you have heard of the Dalai Lama. You know the Dalai Lama? He's a sweetheart. Lovely. And we got asked to come, and we've done a number of projects now for His Holiness, and I just got back a couple of weeks again. It was my third time, and we're going to go back again in March. But when His Holiness comes around, all of the people come up close to hear what he has to say. And because he's not ego-driven, it's not about him. Now, he is an amazing, delightful, enthusiastic presence. He's extraordinary. But really, his focus is that you hear the message that he shares, which is a message of compassion. Now, if you'll hand me those 2 newspapers right there, please. Just leave it right there. When I was at the hotel this morning, I like to grab a free newspaper. You know, I'll read it when it's a month old, probably, because it's in the back seat of my car. But I was just struck by the cover of the Wall Street Journal. Terror takes center stage during the Republican debate. Cover of the U.S. Today. Threat shuts down LA schools. Everywhere you turn, and not too far from here, in San Bernardino, is tension, fear, stress, confusion, wondering what comes next. Prayers, even if you're not a faith person, people are praying for safety and for answers. So I think this is an opportunity for us today to have our prayer for compassion for us as a community, as individuals, as citizens of this state and this country and this world. Angels are everywhere in India and everywhere you go. Thank goodness. And they just show up. They just keep showing up. It was great to take the women to St. Ben's this weekend. I'd never been to a monastery before, and Beata had been trying to get me to go for years, and Terry, you've got to go, and I will, but I'm really busy because y'all saw I have my hand up. Business owner, business development, executive. I had my hand in a lot of pies over these last 25 years. But I finally went. It was the single most transformative thing that had ever happened to me in my whole life. And I've had an amazing life. I have been in the toilet, and I have been on the mountaintop more times than I can count. But nothing was more profound for me than my time at the monastery. So it was our delight to have these women go with us to experience the rhythm of what happens in a monastic setting. Now on the outside, you could look at it and you'd say, well, it's kind of odd what they do in there. What do they do in there behind those walls? Well, the world would have us think that they do dark things behind the walls. And like all human beings, dark things happen behind all walls. It happens in Buddhist monasteries. It happens in Catholic churches. It happened in my little Southern Baptist church to me. We cannot escape what it's like to be a person in the world if we are awake. We will be wounded, we will suffer, we will get what we didn't ask for. And if we live long enough, we will understand what it's like to get up and keep going. And actually not just to get by, but to have extraordinary joy. The sisters will say, people think we go behind a monastery and we just come here to get away from the world. Oh, it's easy for them. They're back behind the walls. They don't have to deal with reality. They don't have to be out. And what you understand is that when you sit in front of yourself, there is no more frightening place to be with all of who you are. When you can't hide and pretend behind your card or behind your stick or the story or the version that we like to share. We have many versions. We can go to one room and share all about our suffering and pain, and that's a way to be connected. We can go to another place and share about our accomplishments, and that looks real good. But when you are alone with no distraction, you get to sit with all of yourself over and over and over again. So, if you think about it, if you're not going behind a monastery wall to get away from the world, what are you going there for? Well, maybe you're going to be able to be in the face of what is divine for you without so much distraction. Except you're still there, so it's still your own head. All the noise and the stress that you can feel because here I am in this beautiful place with every opportunity to find God. I can't find him. Where is she? Where is he? That's a part of the journey that the people who live in religious life have to deal with every day. So when you go there, you sit with people who understand, though they haven't walked in your shoes. They see you and they understand. And as Josie was saying, you are invited to everything. Prayers if you'd like, lunch and snacks if you'd like, time in the hermitage. You can just sleep. You can just read. You can just laugh. You can just play with the squirrels. You can just go and knit. You can just go to the coffee shop across the street. You can do whatever you want. And when you get ready to leave, no one has kept score. Now, the first time I went and the sister said that, I thought, yeah, well, my dad's a minister. Somebody's watching to see how many services I went to. And they're watching to see if when I was praying I had that one eye open, looking around to see who else had their eye open, And then you got that secret, because you had your eye open too. So we join in with, I won't tell if you don't tell. You know how it is. The sisters honestly did not know whether I went to prayer services or not. All they said was this: we hope your time here was restful. We hope you found what you came looking for. Pray for us as we will be praying for you. Well, it just doesn't get any easier than that. Except when you get in your car to drive away, it's very painful to drive away. You see, there when you sit with your suffering, and you sit with joy, and you sit with restfulness and peace, and you sit with possibility, and you sit with boredom, when you get ready to leave, you want to go back because it's so rich and it's so real. And if you let it be, it's deeply authentic. There in this place with yourself that maybe you haven't really been talking to much in decades. Hello. Remember me? Remember me before you got busy. Before you created a resume of your education and your business, and I spent this many years here and this many years here. And basically that's how we compare ourselves to people. It's and I, her father was a Lutheran minister and mine was a Southern Baptist minister, and there's a special camaraderie that happens with PKs, preachers' kids. Because we are raised on the front row, watching the Word of God, and we live in the human home, behind the curtain above us. We understand the divine, and we understand the human. And when you find those people who give you the grace to be messy and outrageous and ridiculous and primitive, Beata affords me all of that. She reminds me that that is also where God lives. And it's a good thing, because I got a lot of that in me. I do. I want to conclude with this. I've known Josie for a long time, and I've known Denise for a long time. I've been around a long time. I opened a lot of centers. I created thousands of jobs for people. I've been very, very, very lucky. I've had a lot of people shit on me. Take it and take credit for it. Take it out of your hand, and the next thing you're like, well, guess I have to create another one. Part of the reason I created so many centers is because I had to. The first center I created, I didn't know what I was doing. There had never been a house where people did mental health in it. I couldn't go, let's go to Mississippi and look and see someone who did one. We just got a yellow pad and we just sort of made one. And that's what treatment is. Next thing you know, other people will do it and they'll refine it. The beauty of the work is you do your part. People will refine it. They'll take it to the next level. They'll work the kinks. They'll add their layers of blessings, and it'll be better than anything you ever created on your own. That's part of having a baby. I never had a child. I had cats. Got a lot of cats. Love my cats. But I've had a lot of friends. And I was talking to Susan last night. I've known Susan since I was 19. Susan and I knew each other in college back in Memphis, Tennessee, a long time ago. Many stories ago, many lovers ago, many journeys ago, many difficulties ago, many mountaintops ago. And when I was sitting at dinner with her last night, it struck me, I don't keep up with a lot of people from my early life. I needed to let that go. And I realized, you are the person, and I told you last night, that I've known longer than anyone else that I would have a conversation who remembers me when I was 19. I feel that same way with you. If I meet you again in a day, a moment, 5 years, I will look into your face and I will see a reflection of my youth. I'll see a reflection of my secrets. And I will see a reflection of my survival. I thank you so much. When Josie started to open Recovery View, I had the pleasure of being with Josie and kind of talking about what that might turn out to be, because she is special. When I had a chance to start Milestones, I was the initial medical director of Milestones, and I met Denise, and that's when I first met Denise. Denise is special. And as Beata said, when we got ready to open the Prayer for Compassion Agency to help centers and churches and organizations and businesses and individuals begin to be still to ask the important questions in their businesses and their lives, these women were so supportive. What can we do for you? Not what can you do for us? What can we do for you? I hope you have that in your life. Many of us have it for a time, and then sometimes relationships take a turn, and it's okay. We have to thank God for what we had. We have to thank God for the painful turn and for the freedom that comes next. That we free fall into the arms of what God means for us to have. In 2016, lean into your 10,000 angels. Lean into the people who mean it when they say, I support what you're doing. How can I help you? We hope that you will think about this for yourself in the year, that you and your Beata, and you and your sister Angelo, and you and your sister Julianne, and all of the lovely sisters, you and His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness the Pope, His Holiness your sponsor and your sponsee and your lover and your husband and your friend and your pets and your children and your enemies. In the face of your enemies, you are seeing a reflection of yourself. That is the gift. Most of us don't want to look at our enemies. We want to write them off. We want to, all the reasons why we are them and they are us. His Holiness says compassion does not choose. Compassion is. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying follow me. Trust me. I'm just saying, think about it. Again, Josie, thank you for giving Beata and I the time and the space to have had you at our very first retreat at the monastery where it all began for us. Thank you, Denise, for giving us our first retreat at Milestones generously and allowing us to have the space. Thank you for being so wonderful as the people were coming and to effortlessly make them comfortable. They didn't know what they were getting into, and you were just terrific. We are fortunate. We are going to go to India at the end of March. I wasn't kidding. There is a celebration of the 100th anniversary of His Holiness's institute called Minsikan. I cannot tell you that His Holiness is going to be the guest of honor speaker, because I've been asked to not say something about that should he have a health problem. But if you were interested in going, as you began to fill out the application, you might see that it asks for several pictures and some other information about you, and you might think that seems a little bit like a security clearance. So just perhaps, if you went, you might perhaps be able to have an audience for a while with His Holiness in a teaching. He won't be around forever to receive that. So if you're interested, we'd love to have you come along. We're going to take some pilgrimages to all sorts of wonderful places in the world. But none more important than the pilgrimage of coming here to Palm Springs today, to the top of this mountain, for this moment, on behalf of Mary, on behalf of all who have passed, on behalf of all that we love. Let's be grateful. Let's be joyful on their behalf. God bless you in this holiday season and the new year. We are so thankful. Thanks.
Before I wanted to, I think I had mentioned I was going to do this before and then I forgot. So I wanted to, and it's perfect that you guys are here with me. So Beata and Terry had asked if I could share a breathing exercise that I learned in my spiritual direction, or that I taught myself, as it were, with Sister Mary Rachel. Part of what my experience was a breathing exercise, and I think it'll be helpful to you guys. And if you close your eyes, and you'll be breathing in, take a breath of divine love. And then release and breathe out peace to the world. When I asked her about that, I said, am I releasing my peace? She said, no. You're sharing the divine love that is coming in to you, and then releasing peace to the world through your exhale breath. And imagine that it's not only peace in this room or to whoever is near you. You could imagine it and sharing it with the entire world and universe as it will. So we'll do it again. We'll breathe in. Love, divine. And exhale. Peace, divine, to the world. And not at a better time, I'll tell you. And especially imagining this peace being spread like a blanket across the world and the planet in different areas, including San Bernardino and other places, every place, actually, if you watch the news. So, I wanted just to share that gift with you guys, and hopefully you'll be able to take that with you, and when you want a little respite, you can just share that exercise with use it for yourself and your clients, your family, anywhere that it's useful. And I just want to thank Terry and Beata again. Let's give them another. So much. Okay, so do whatever you want. Enjoy each other's company, go outside, take pictures, feel the peace of the mountain. And I hope you can take all of this home with you to your children and your families for the holidays and throughout 2016. We do have flyers in the back for our next event that we have in January. I don't have it in front of me, but we have our network luncheons that will resume at Melvin's in January. So thank you, everybody.